experience. And speaking to personal experiences, I'd like to now speak to Mr. Kadar Brunson. Mr. Brunson, I'd love to hear a bit more about your experience exiting the justice system and accessing housing and other services, please.
Good morning, everybody. How you doing? As a motivational speaker, I'm not used to having a script in my hand, but with respect to the time, I had to write this down, so y'all bear with me. First, giving all praise and honor to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I am truly humbled by the mere fact that you have me here with you today. Thank you for this opportunity. I am Kadar Brunson, and I am a product of the foster care system since I was 2 years old and innocent. In that system, I was routinely subjected to beatings with cats of nine tails, thrown downstairs, burnt with cigarettes, and denied food. I was always told that I was a nothing, garbage, a throwaway because my parents did not want me, and that I should have been flushed down the toilet. I said all that to say this: I am also a human being that has been impacted by the justice system. I spent over 25 years in the penal system, of one penal system or another. I've been in 21. After my first prison term, I experienced homelessness on a brutal scale. Can I be transparent with you all? I'm from New York, but was released to North Carolina to the streets. I was not given a place to go. The core root of my homelessness must be laid at the feet of society, which made it virtually impossible for me to acquire housing and meaningful employment. Yes, while society was free to choose and did choose to ostracize and stigmatize me because of my criminal conduct, society will never ever be free from the dire consequences and ramifications of those dysfunctional, irrational choices. In fact, society is in error and violates the mandatory language of the Declaration of Independence, which God endowed us all with certain unalienable rights: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, which encompasses housing. You see, ladies and gentlemen, when I was turned loose into society on my first sentence with only a $40 gate check for my years of involuntary servitude, I had nowhere to go except the street. I could not tend to my hygiene, and I felt like a rabid animal. These are some of the emotions that possessed me exponentially during this time: dread, trepidation, depression, uncertainty. These emotions quickly gave way to feelings of anger and bitterness, with a heavy dose of anxiety and outward aggression. These emotions then festered and went unchecked, which gave way to a tangible, palpable hatred for society and all those in position of power. This set me on a dangerous path to where I embrace violence. My charges include violent armed robberies and kidnappings, to name a few. I have over 50 felonies. I became detached from society, reality, and was the definition of antisociable. Homelessness had sent me over the edge into an abyss. Society must cease and desist from its self-inflicted self-delusion that all is forgiven when we satisfy our debt. There are just so many unsurmountable obstacles and landmines awaiting us human beings that are impacted by the incarceration system, homelessness topping the list of those. Prior to my release in 2012, I went in prison in 1987 on my last sentence, and I was released I went in 87, released in 2012. From 27-year-old, I was 53 when I got out. I wrote Mr. Frankie Roberts of Link a 25-page bio stating my crimes, but more importantly, who I am now as a self-reformed human being in need of a hand up, never a hand out. Mr. Roberts accepted me on face value. I remember conveying to Mr. Frankie Roberts what exactly I was going to do if he gave me a chance, and I never mentioned that conversation to him again. I enrolled in college, paralegal tech was my major, and I started my own mobile detail service, which in a matter of a few months, I was averaging $5,000 to $6,000 per month. Yet even now, I can't acquire meaningful housing because of my criminal record. Now I'm a productive member of society making 4 times the rent. Those old feelings of anger that existed right below the surface of my eyes reared its head. However, this time, I channeled that anger into positive energy, a resolve that said, Kadar, show society how you're built. I'll explain that in a moment. Prison did not and does not define me nor my character. Most could not walk in my shoes and overcome all have overcome. If you knew my whole story, tears would flow down your eyes like Niagara Falls. It is my hope and commitment that my nonprofit organization, which is in its birth pangs, will no doubt give us a solid foundation in which to build a new prosperous life, shelter, employment, a workable, doable plan that we will execute failure will be unacceptable. It is not an option with me. We have been stigmatized and ostracized for far too long. We are considered persona non grata by mainstream society. I still face discrimination today in my daily life of some form or another, and I make plenty of money. The opposite of disadvantage is advantage. The opposite of take is give. The opposite of lies is truth. And the opposite of damage is repair. Can we as a society give advantage to the disadvantage by simply providing necessary housing? Can you also be truthful in your dealings with us? Most of us can handle the truth. We can never handle a lie. And can we begin to repair the damage done psychologically by simply affording us the adequate housing? My mission is to assist those who presently suffer because of homelessness. So in closing, I must add that I and my beautiful wife, Cheryl, are owners of C&K Marketing, an Afrocentric marketing business. During COVID, we were in the streets feeding the homeless from the proceeds of our African fashion shows. I also am a passionate motivational speaker, and I'm very transparent. Remember that prior comment I made about referring to showing society just how Kadar is built? I'm glad y'all asked me to expound on that. Well, the state of North Carolina, who robbed me of 25 years of my life, my youth, they now are my employer, New Hanover County. I am the senior heavy equipment operator for environmental management. I've received 12 Stellar Awards and the highest award a person can get in New Hanover County, the 5-star award. And I did it in 2 years, which has never been done in the history of that county. I'm the very first human this county hired in 2017, paving the way for others just like me. I also am a land and home owner. I had my home built in Hamilton, Alabama to my wife's specifications. Then I had it shipped and placed on, my wife's specifications, not mine. Then I had it, give me 10 more seconds on that, please. They did that, I didn't do that. Then I had it shipped and placed on my 5+ acres of land, which is paid in full. I owe you nothing. I drive a Lincoln Navigator, a cherry red convertible Mustang, and a Ford Escape. Society told me I couldn't, so Kadar did it. Why am I telling you all this? I am certainly not bragging here. I am humble. Rather to show you the endless possibilities that exist when you give us a fighting chance and possess the sheer audacity, and I possess the sheer audacity to believe I can conquer any obstacle society may throw at me. Failure not an option. I can't spell the word. I'm built just like that. Tell Kadar he can't. I'll show you I can and will. As spoken by the late great Nelson Mandela, it always seems impossible until it's done. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Brunson, yes. Thank you very much. Very powerful. Thank you. But I'm not going to go. I have a follow-up question for you, sorry. This is a great question here. Because we're going to ask you just to give us one step. And the question is, what is the most important step you think reentry agencies, DOCs, and housing providers can take to positively impact the people reentering the community and support the zero returns to homelessness vision?
Okay, before you get to that question, I must say this. Unless that person coming out of incarceration can look in that mirror and say, I love that person, that's our biggest problem. We look in that mirror, there's our biggest enemy. Once you can overcome that enemy, and then you come to Department of Justice, we want y'all to listen to us, not just hear us. Yes. Hearing and listening is two different things. They're interchangeable, but if you're not listening, you're just wasting my time. You have to listen to me. Then after you listen to me, you must implement the necessary prerequisites to achieve our desired goals, which is affordable housing. Because if you just pay lip service to an idea, if you just pay lip service to a thought, then you're wasting our time. You might well be the judge that gave me 777 years and said I'd never see the street again. Good luck with that. So this is what we must do. You have to hear us, listen to us, because we know better than most what we need. If you've never been incarcerated, how do you know? You don't know. You don't know the emotions and the psychological traumas and the things that we go through just to make ourselves to start a journey to becoming productive members of society. So if you listen to the experts, which I am one, and implement those plans that we say, and we're fallible, we're not God, we make mistakes. But 9.9, we're going to get it right. because we know what we have been subjected to. We just want you to hear us, listen to us, and enact what we try to tell you is best suits our needs.
Amen.
Thank you. Thank you. And actually, a follow-up question for Mr. Roberts. Can you talk about the processes that have been most effective in developing new transitional supporting housing?